Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Finay. So today what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a website using HTML and CSS. And we're gonna create the first file, the first folder in our desktop, okay? So let's just jump right into it. So on your folder, what we're gonna see, you're gonna go on your folder, all right, your desktop, and here, and you're gonna make a right click, you're gonna say new, and we're gonna create a new folder. Let's in the folder first website. Okay, let's name it first. If it's your first website, okay, website. Boom. Okay, and then once you create it, you're gonna go in your Visual Studio, and then from there on, we can start our HTML. Okay, so we're gonna go open folder right here, open folder, and then it's gonna send you to your search for the folder on your desktop, and then you're gonna go check it out. Okay, give me 1 second. Hold on. And then on your desktop, it's going to open this new window, and you're going to select the first website file. Okay. And then we're going to continue. You're going to see here it's created what? First website. Okay. So what we're going to do here, we're going to create our own file. Okay. You do see I have a few agents here. Um, so let's create a new file. Okay. Let's see what's up. We're going to go here, press this, it's gonna say new file, or you can also do like a right click and you can also press new file. Let's call it index.html, right? Very important. And then we're also gonna create a style.css, like we did last time, style.css, okay? Very important. Once this is set up on your Visual Studio, you're gonna go on your extensions, okay? Very important. You're gonna go on your extensions. From there, you're gonna say live share. Okay. Um, live share or live server. It goes live server, right? You're gonna go live server instead. Okay. Very important. Because this will allow you to see your output of your website right on your Visual Studio. Okay. So let's go like this, and you're gonna install it. Make sure you install it, and then that way you can see it like this. Okay. You're gonna see like your code, and you can also kind of have a preview of your website. Okay. Once we're over here, we're gonna go in our index, the HTML file. Okay. Very important. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with our left, and you're gonna see, if you see it, let's say duck type. Okay. That HTML. Okay. We're gonna create our HTML right here. We're gonna say a HTML. Let's keep it English, right? HTML language gonna be equal to what? Gonna be equal to en. Let's go en. All right, and don't forget closing, and then all right. From there, we're gonna create our header, okay, and then we're gonna put head like this. Boom. All right. Remember, if you open it, all right, remember to always close it. All right. So closing something like that will be head, and then you're gonna put this in front of it. All right. So it'll be head, 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 head. Same for HTML, HTML, HTML. All right. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're gonna continue in the head section, right? Okay. We're gonna continue in the head section, and what we're gonna do here, we're gonna put meta. All right. This is not, you don't have to learn this, okay? Um, and then we're gonna call it meta chart. I'm just gonna copy and paste this. You don't have to learn this, okay? You can always find it on Google. It's very important. It's not that important, and just to make your HTML look good. What is important though, right? We're gonna put a title for our page. Very important. So we're gonna put title. Remember, every time you open a title, you also have to close it. Every time you open HTML header body, you have to close it. Okay. So we're gonna have title, and then you also always make sure don't delete this because it's very important, because that's where your title is going to be. We're gonna call it one my one page, right? Page website. Okay, because it's your first website, and we're gonna continue. All right, my one-page website. Now, since we have a style that that's CSS, right? We have to call it in the index.html. Does that make sense? We have to call it in this index.html. So since we have that style, which is this file over here, we have to call it. All right. So we're gonna go, because it's a link, we're gonna link it to our HTML. Real, right? Equal, because it's a style sheet, right? We're gonna equal it to a style sheet because it is, right? And once you already know it, you're gonna say style sheet, all right? Boom. And then we're gonna continue, and we're gonna add HR because we're calling the file. Okay, this is gonna make the call for the file. Okay, and then HR equal to what? What's the name of the file? Style.css. Boom, and then we're gonna close the bracket. Okay, so the head right now of the website has already been created. Okay, so now we're gonna continue the body. Say head, body. It's like literally like like a human body. Think of it as a human body. You have the head. Now we're gonna go for the rest of the body. Okay, so we're gonna create a body for this file, and normally people will create the body and then they will add like hello world or anything like that. Okay, so in this situation, just to kind of like show you, okay, we're gonna put the body. Okay, and let's see, body right here. I have to put a little space in between. Okay, so that you can see it. Body on line 11 and line 14. All right. So let's just for this example, right? We're gonna call H1. Let's say hello world, right? Just so you guys can see it. All right. Hello world. There it goes. Once you got it, okay, you're gonna control save it. You're gonna go control. If you are on Mac, you're gonna go command and S. Okay, so control S or command S. Okay, so you're gonna do a right click on your I'm gonna do it higher so you guys can see it. Remember, I told you it's always important to download your to install the extension for your live stream, your live server. So we're gonna open with live server. Remember, do a right click on the file right here, and then we're gonna open with live server. Okay, I'm gonna do it higher so you guys can see it. Open with live server. Okay, so you can also follow the same command here. Alt L R Alt 0 O. Okay, but we're not gonna do all that. So and then from there, okay, it will open your live server. Okay. So from there, as I said, it's gonna open your live server, and then we're gonna press it. Okay, we're gonna go open live server, and it's gonna say hello world. Right. So that's just like the pure example of it. Okay. Right. So that's fairly simple. You're gonna see it opening because you already have your live server. Right. So I don't want to have it all in my Visual Studio. So it's fine if you still want to keep it on your Visual Studio. It's also fine. But for now, we're gonna go on our document right here. Okay. There it goes. So in our body, okay, in our body for this index.html, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna create like a bar section, okay, and this is like for anything, okay. So we're gonna create this bar section, all right. In there, we're gonna put like I'm gonna put a comment so that I can know. So this is for navigation. So most websites they will have like a navigation. You're gonna say home, you know, like home, about, services, contact. This is like the part that's gonna create that for us. And I'm gonna put a comment, just to have it there. And we're gonna create call it navigation, right? Navigation. So in French we're gonna say navigation, but and we're just gonna close it. Okay, open, close, all right? Open, close arrow. All right. And from there, we're gonna create the header within the body. Okay. So we're gonna say header, another header. These are very important because we can use that for our file, okay? For our style.css. CSS. That's where we're gonna make all our good looking and all our investment for our documentation website. Okay. So header, we're gonna put a nav, INAV, okay. Nav is for navigation, okay. Navigation, yes, okay, makes sense. And we're gonna create H2. Remember H1, H2, H3, is by size. H1 is the bigger, H2 goes smaller. It makes your letters smaller. And within that navigation section, we're gonna create a class for our logo. Class allows you to access it in your style CSS, okay? And creating a class create a class. It creates this environment for all your input, okay? So we're gonna have this. We're gonna say H2. That's the size that we're gonna have, and we're gonna create a class for it. And we're gonna do what? We're gonna equal the class to what we want to name the class. We're gonna call it logo, right? So from there, okay, we're gonna close the the H2 because it is still. You always have to close it. If you open it, you have to close it. All right. Okay. So very important. All right. And then, all right, we're gonna continue here. We're gonna call it my site. Okay. That's for like the section for the logo. I don't want to create a space here. We're gonna close the space, and then from there we're gonna create a UL. That just makes it like this. Okay. UL makes it like this. All right. So UL. Boom. And then we're also going to create a class for it. And we're going to say, we're going to navigate like nav links. Okay. So this class is going to be like navigation for live links. Okay. So let's do a class. Boom, boom, boom. And then this is very important because this is like the first section of our, of our body. Okay. So when you go on a website, you're going to say, hey, why is it saying home about? This is where we're doing that right now. Okay. So we're going to say class equals to what? Navigation from the nav link. So we're going to have nav links. Okay. So that allows you to navigate with the links, and that's why we're calling it that way. Okay. And we're going to close that bracket. Oh, yeah. I don't know where I put the point. Boom. All right. From there, you're going to see this closes. If I open it, what does it? You always have to close. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So from there, we're gonna create a elite. All right. Li. And then we're gonna also have a H. All right. HREF. So this is what's gonna call like the about section, the home. This is what's gonna call it. All right. So when we have it, it's gonna call the home section. It's gonna call this different things. I haven't created the home yet, but this is what it's going to call it. Okay. Remember, this is all happening in the same index.html file. So there are times that you can also create like a home HTML, and then you can just connect it that way also. That way we're going to do it with a link instead of doing it with like LI and HREF file. Okay. All right. So does that make sense? So we're going to say HREF equals, right? Because we're going to call it, right? Equals to what? Equals to HREF equals to, mon Dieu, that the equal doesn't want to work. Okay, we're going to close the parentheses right here. And then we're going to say HREF is equal to what? Boom, is equal to the home, all right? And we're going to put, this is tag right here. And we're not done, all right? Okay. And then we're going to continue. We're going to put another hour after it. And that's what we're going to put. Remember, the moment you open something here, everything is very important. If you open LI, you got to close it. If you open A, you got to close it. Okay. So in between A, we're going to put home. Okay. Yes. Home. We're going to call it home. All right. Low important detail. Home is maison in French. Okay. And then we're going to do the same again for all of our other stuff. Like we're going to have about, services, contact. Okay. So I'm going to skip everything else, and I'm just going to copy and paste it. Okay. So following what I just said, you guys can do this by yourself and add these different sections. Okay. And boom. Now, header, nav, close. Everything is closed. Okay. We're going to create underneath, right? I'm going to close this right here to make it look nicer. Within our body and below our header, all right, we're going to create what we call a hero section, right? And I'm going to note it as hero section because what's very important about coding is you're not going to work by yourself when you code, okay? Somebody will have to read your code, all right? So go create the habit of always like making notation of what you are doing in your code, Okay, so I'm gonna say hero section. We're gonna put a comment, right? This right here is not implementing within our code, right? It's not compiling, okay? So it's just like not really reading, okay? So we're gonna create a section here within our hero section. We're gonna create a section. What is it? We're gonna say left arrow section, right? And then we're gonna add an ID, and the ID is gonna be equal to what? The home section. All right. And that's what's gonna allow us to get over here. All right. So our home, when somebody clicks it, is gonna send them, in this section right here. All right. So from there, okay, from there, excuse me, we're gonna have a little class, and that class is gonna be what? Because we're in the hero section, we're gonna create the class is equal to hero. All right. And then boom, we're gonna close it. As it always close it. Okay. Boom. And then we're gonna put a H1. All right. Okay. Within our H1, we're gonna say, I don't know, welcome to my website. Welcome to my website. All right. And you can put anything you want from here at this point. From there, we're gonna create a little paragraph section. We're gonna create P. Okay, P. Your one or my one page or your one page modern. Okay. HTML, one page. HTML. Okay, your one page modern. Okay, HTML. Okay, and we're gonna say CSS. Right, very nice right here. I'm gonna say layout at the end, and then we're gonna put a period. All right, and this is gonna create like a little paragraph for us. And I don't like this space in between. Remove that. And we're also gonna add another section here, another part. We're gonna put like about, right? So allowing the person to go on the about section, even if there's more to it. Okay. So right here is gonna allow the user to go on the about. Okay, just like on a little, if you want to learn more, it's like creating a little button here for the user. Okay, that's why it's called BTN. All right. So you go on the home. You're like, oh, I'm home. Okay, you can go in the section that says learn more. Okay, does that make sense? Home. Hey, you can go learn more about what we do. All right. And then below that section, we're going to create another section, and this is going to be what? The about section. So you see in line 18, we have the about, we have home, and then home is going to link to the about section. Okay. So this is something that every web designer should be able to do. Okay. And we're going to create the first section, and I'm going to start same thing that we did before on line 26. We're going to do the same thing here, but this time we're going to call it ID about, class about. Okay. All right. Same section. We're going to create that little space right here. Okay. And then from the about, we're going to add H2 about me or about the website. Okay. We're going to say H2 right below it, right below in between the section. We're going to say H2 about this website. Okay. And then from there, we can create a little paragraph, right? I don't know. You can type whatever you want from there. Okay. P. All right. Typing this entire paragraph will take too long. You guys can do that on your own time. Creating that little paragraph, just add it in between the P, and then that's going to create that little paragraph, that little section for people. Okay. And then we're going to continue from there. Copy and paste. All right. So this is the little paragraph I added. Okay. This is a simple one-page website template built with pure HTML and CSS. You can edit it to create portfolio or business, landscape, or anything you want. Okay. You can do whatever you want with this little website. Okay. So section for about, create. This has been created. This is, as I said, this is going to allow you to call. Okay. That's what is very important about this. Okay. When you create the section, ID, and the class, it allows you to be able to call it, and the UL. Okay. So the person can navigate through your website smoothly. Now we're going to create another section. We're missing how many sections? We're missing services and contact. All right. So this is like, you don't have to put a lot in there, but I already have it. I already have it here. Remember, always very important. Always create a little, a little note for the person that's gonna read it to let them know, hey, listen, this is the section we're in, and right here instead of putting hero section, we're gonna put about section. All right, a little comment here. I have to put that little comment. Yo, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm creating the about section. All right, boom. Now, another section we're gonna create the service section, and we're gonna create a little note. Okay, just for the person that's gonna use or read our code. Okay, and then from there, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna read this code out for you guys, just to see it. All right. So same thing, section ID, class, and everything. Now, what's important here? We're gonna say my services, right? We're gonna say web design, development, right? And I'm creating div, right? Like it's creating a class. It's gonna say consulting. You know, I help clients. Da 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 da. I create modern responsive website layout and using da 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 da. Okay. So this is like a little quick note, right? You can read this in your own time. I'm gonna be putting this on my GitHub. You guys can go check it out. But that's what the service section is gonna say. Hey, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. Okay. And important note is the div class. Okay, we're gonna say service grid, important. Okay, but this is all happening under the section that is for services. All right. Now we're missing one more section. If I'm not gonna put my actual contact here, but now we're gonna skip here. We're gonna put contact section. Like most people, when you're building a website for them, they will ask you to put a contact section. All right, contact me. This is the best way to contact us, right? Okay. Now we're gonna do this. I'm gonna put contact section as you see, and then I'm gonna put like section. As I said, everything is very similar. All right, very similar. All right, so you can always copy and paste and then make little changes. So you can always copy and paste this section and just change the class name, change the actual name. Very important. A lot of copy and pasting when you're coding. Okay, and we're gonna say mail to da da da, and then you're gonna put your email, and then this is gonna be a button to send the email. Right? Does that make sense? Now that we are done with the body section, and the body started where? We left the body at 11, and it went all the way to line 67. Right? So the body section has been created. And if you have a body, you have the head, right? You have a body, right? Now, what I need is maybe a little footer, right? I'm gonna stick that footer in the body, right? Because I already created another head within the body, right? So I'm gonna create a footer in the body, all right? So let's do this. I'm gonna create a footer. Some people might create a footer outside, but I just like it in the body, okay? Because we already have everything we need, okay? My site, this is something like you should do. Like, hey, all rights are reserved to me. I've done this. I've created this. This is for me, okay? All right. And if it's like a business, you're gonna put like, hey, all rights reserved to this business. Okay. Sometimes they will ask you to put a link to like their, the legal stuff and everything. Okay. Now we are done with the HTML file. We're gonna move to the style.css. This is what's gonna add the flair, the little tastiness, the little modern design that we're looking for our website. But first, we're gonna control and save it, okay? Because we don't want anybody to, see what we got going on here. And we're gonna right click like last time, and we're gonna open it to see how it looks. So as you guys can see here, right? It looks nice. It looks okay. It just looks like words, right? And you can click it, right? And it's gonna do like these things, right? It's gonna, hey, this is about us, da da da. So all the movements haven't been added. So we need to add movements. We need to add design. We need to add, everything to make it look nice. But you can see, you can send an email, you can, all that, right? So let's continue. Okay. Let's continue here to the style.css file. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go create a margin, right? Okay. We're gonna put it as 0. We're gonna say, hey, star for the section. Okay, section is elemental. Okay, we're gonna create the border at what? At border box. We're gonna create the box size, border box. Okay. For the body, okay, we're gonna create a body section here. We're gonna say body. Okay, this is for the body that we have. Remember that. And open parentheses. Okay. And close parentheses. All right. Within the body, all right, I'm gonna add what I'm looking for. Okay. From the color is this. We're gonna keep the color here. What's important about HTML and Visual Studio, when you have the color, you can always change it from here. You can always, if you don't remember like the actual code, this is something that's been very new now. You can always change it from there. Okay, you're gonna see like the actual number of your color. Okay, I don't want to do that. I like my color right here. I'm not gonna change it. Okay, so now we have the main color that we're looking for the body. We have the height of the lines, right? We have what we're looking for the font, right? And you're gonna see these. If you use, Word, Office, or Docs, those are like the name. I said, speak like a human, right? Okay. Now we're gonna go and navigate. We're gonna put a little comment, and we're gonna say for this comment here, I want the people to know, hey, I'm just doing like a little navigate. That's the part that's for navigation. Okay, this is what creating the navigation for our code. Now remember, here we have header, we have body, we have header, right? We're gonna have the header, we're gonna have the body. Okay, so this is happening for all our headers and all part of our bodies. Okay, so here we're gonna create our header. We're gonna create our header file, and we're gonna put everything here. It's the header. We want the background for this color. Okay. We want our padding for 15 px to 40 px, and we're gonna fix our position. We're gonna make sure that our position is fixed. We're gonna add like a width for about 1%, and then we're gonna keep the top at 0. For the box shadow is the little section around the box that's gonna create like that little fading, that little shade, and we're gonna create at 0, 2px, 5px, and then we're gonna keep it at 00 RGBA, okay, for our color. Maybe like put a 1 here, okay, at point 1. So this is for the header. This is happening for the header, okay, yeah, and then we're gonna continue. Now we're gonna go for our nav, which is our navigation functions. Okay, navigations, everything that we have on our index, the HTML, right? So here we can change, we can do everything here, make it look good because we can call them. We can call them in our style as CSS. Okay, that's what we're doing here. We're making the calls to make it look nice. All right. Okay, and from there we're gonna open parentheses, as always, close our parentheses, and we're gonna add our nav. We're gonna say display flex, space in between. Okay, for our functions, we're gonna make sure that we have a little space in between, and we're gonna say the alignment is gonna be centered. Okay, so we're gonna have the alignment centered. All right. Now, what's important? You're gonna see I'm gonna put like periods and asterisks. Is that asterisks? How you call that, asterisks? But we're gonna put a period and we're gonna call our nav lengths because we're gonna create another thing for our nav lengths, which is very different. We're gonna put period, okay, right? Period for class, and you're gonna see it when I put the period. It's gonna say you're gonna see a little class element class, okay? Because I put for that class, okay? We have a class here. What's it called? Nav lengths. You're gonna see, right? So everything within here is having that change because we're still in our nav lengths. Okay, so we're gonna go period nav. Okay, that little dash, we put lengths, and then we're gonna continue here. So from there, we're gonna open it, and then we're gonna put our node. We're gonna create a list style, and we're gonna put none. Okay, display flex. The gap is gonna be 20px. Okay. What I would advise is before, like, learn those PX, learn what you want so that you can know what to expect from your design. Okay. And we're gonna continue. Now I'm gonna call nav again, but this time for the A. Okay. Nav lengths again for the A. Okay. This is making some small adjustments. Okay. You're gonna see nav lengths. Okay. Now A's. All right. So A, everything that I have A here. Let me show you. So we have nav lengths, the A, all right? Boom, boom. So this is like doing some readjustment, not just for this entire thing, right? But also for this right here, okay? So we're gonna continue. Now that's done. Everything here, done, all right? That little section here, perfect, perfection. Now, we're gonna continue, okay? And matter of fact, let me show you how we're looking so far. Let's see. I wanna show you guys how we're looking, okay? and then we're gonna go back on our index.html, and we're gonna see how we're looking so far. See what we got so far. Okay, see this changes here. So I've made sure now it's allowing me to see the services at the top, right, in one line. Okay, that's why we put this. This is my site, home, about, boom, boom, boom. Everything is running smoothly. Now we're gonna make some changes, and you're gonna see the font. All right, this is the alligator font. Okay, now we're gonna continue. Close this right quick. Boom. Right. So we're gonna continue. There's a lot of things that we haven't put, like the background color, things like that. So we're gonna go in our hero section. Okay, and we're gonna create that hero section. If you're not sure what is actually happening, what the element is, always like hover over your class to see exactly what it is. Okay, this is for the element of the class hero. Okay, and what was that? That was over here. Okay, hero. So here, welcome to my website. That's what we're changing here. Okay, so we're gonna have the background. Okay, everything is gonna be on my repo, So you guys always can go check it out. Display, flex, affects direction, column, justify, content. We're gonna put it at the center. Align items. We're gonna put it at center. Text align, also center. Okay, great. That's great right here. So for our hero H1, we're also gonna keep it. Okay, hero H1 to be more specific. When you put hero, this is generalized. If you put like body, is generalized. Okay, so everything within the body. Boom. But if you're gonna be more specific with your hero section, you're gonna have to do the changes directly from like, hey, I want this in my hero section. The H1, change that. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. We have a hero section. We have the hero section here, but we also have the welcome to my website. That's the H1. So that's what we're doing to change here. Okay, we're gonna keep that 3REM and do the same for our paragraph little section here. Okay, I want to make it look pretty good, and we're gonna continue. Now remember we have a little button. So for each button, whatever the button is, wherever the button is located at, we're gonna keep it as this. Okay. Color, we're gonna keep the color here for the blue, kind of purple-ish. The background is gonna be 0. And are we fading it? We'll definitely have to add a little border radius, and we're gonna keep it at 5px. Okay. Continue. Now we have the hero. Let's go for the about section. Okay. P. I already created the P here. Okay. We're gonna keep about. Let's go about, contact, everything. We're gonna put that. Okay. I have to keep going all over again. So about. Okay. Once you wanna, if you wanna have the same function for multiple things, we're gonna create about period services period contact. What this is doing is not necessarily just going directly about, but it's going like to the section that has the about, which is like the class. So over here, you're gonna see element that has a class about. Okay, so everything that has a class about will have that little change. Now let's continue. We're gonna go. Let me put a little note just so we have whoever's gonna read this code knows what we're doing here. Okay, so I'm gonna put about here, and we're gonna continue. Now we're gonna add a little service grid. Okay, that service grid, that services. So this is what's creating the little service, what we're offering, what we're looking for. Continuing, line 76 to 82, right? That's for the services. Okay, that's like that little the last end, yeah. Okay, 76 to 82. Okay, that's for our service grid. If you always want to check, hover over it, see where it is, and then you go back to your index.html to check it out. Okay, to see what change are we actually making. All right. From there, we're also going to do the same for our cards. Make sure our cards are doing okay. And let's see here. Let me check my card. I don't know if I like this. If I like the card. How do I want my cards to look? Yeah, so for this, okay. Oh, yeah, I might still keep it that way. I might still keep it at 25px. Okay. Also keep the same border radius. And then for the footer, which is what we see, we're gonna make sure to add that. And then keep it that way. So once you're done, what we're gonna do is Control or Command save to save our file, and we're gonna check what we got. Go back to your index.html, make a right click, okay, make a right click, and open with live server. Check. All right. So this is how our website is looking right now. Okay, we have a little design here, and you can play with this. All right, and you're gonna see this is creating a little box. You see the fade, right? And it's creating a little. Hey, this is the section here. We have website and design, development. We have consulting, and then that's just it. This is like pure design only. So when you click on home, it should send you to home. When you click on about, it will send you to the about section. Services. If you're on home and then you click services, it should send you to like the services. Now imagine if you have a lot of statements here, a lot of words, a lot of things that you're saying. Clicking on those buttons will allow the user to go directly to the section that they are looking for. So that's what this is. And today you just literally just built your first website. And if you want to learn more, click on learn more, send me to the about section. The user can read from it. Okay. So right here, right there, beautiful website, very smooth design. And if you want to continue to like make some more edits, create the page instead of having them in one pager, you can create another section to have the page. So this page, like I said, the about section could be in a different page, and you can just create that. And that's just it. Look at this. Like it's smooth, right? For more, my services, if you want to send an email, that's possible. Like just put the user your actual email, and then we'll just input that to the section. Let me show you. So right here, right? Instead of putting you can just put your exact email. Okay. So this button will allow the user to just mail to, right? So if you want to put your actual email, just like every time the user clicks on it, it will actually send that message to your email directly. So very important. Um, Play around with this code, make some changes to the design. Go on Google, go on your Chrome, search CSS uh, design that you can look for, and you can just put it incorporate it in your design. Okay, so this is a very smooth website, and once again, thank you so much for watching. As I said, if you want to learn something new, okay, if you learn something new today, okay, don't forget to like and subscribe, okay, because we're teaching and we're being very involved with our community. So, to keep the algorithm going, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.